This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome to Chapter 3 of Web3 Wonders, the Next Internet Frontier. In this episode titled Blockchain, DAOs, and the Web3 Ecosystem, we're diving into the fascinating role that blockchain plays in shaping the future of the internet. Get ready to explore how this technology is revolutionizing everything from governance to community building. Let's get started. Bitcoin has been running almost non-stop for over a decade. No CEO, no office, no customer support line. Now, zoom into three scenes. Strangers voting on billion-dollar apps, artists selling code as culture, and social networks that users, not executives, quietly control. Now pull back from those scenes and follow the pipes underneath them. Blockchain, smart contracts, DAOs, and the wider Web3 ecosystem. This stack isn't just about new assets. It's about rewiring who owns and runs the digital services we lean on every day. Blockchains offer the shared record, smart contracts add automated rules, and DAOs coordinate people and capital without a traditional org chart. Together, they're quietly powering experiments in finance, art, games, and identity. Think of a neighborhood where residents collectively own the roads, utilities, and local shops, and the rules are updated in public whenever enough people agree. That's the bet Web3 is making. That the internet's infrastructure layer can be both open and user-governed at global scale. Now the picture gets messier and more interesting. Once you let people own pieces of the platforms they use, problems shift from, "Can we build this?" to, "Who should have power and why?" Tokens turn into voting chips, incentives start to look like game design, and governance becomes an ongoing experiment instead of a one-time corporate charter. In practice, that means arguments over fee switches on protocols, curating which projects get funded, and even deciding whose online identity systems are trusted enough to plug into real-world services and regulations. Now the dials turn from abstract ideas to concrete systems. Start with the rails most people touch first: money and markets. DeFi protocols use that shared ledger plus programmable logic to recreate services you'd expect from banks and exchanges, lending, trading, derivatives, without handing custody to a single firm. Uniswap, for example, holds roughly $3 billion worth of its own token in a treasury that token holders steer, turning fees on or off, funding new features, or backing public goods that keep the broader ecosystem healthy. But finance is only the loudest chapter, not the whole book. On the identity side, networks like Polygon process zero-knowledge proofs so you can prove things about yourself. Over 18, paid subscriber, past KYC with a regulated exchange, without revealing every scrap of personal data each time. That's a shift from account-based to credential-based internet life, where your reputation and access can move with you across apps instead of resetting with each new login form. Coordination is scaling too. DeepDAO tracks millions of participants across thousands of on-chain organizations. Protocol councils, collector guilds, research co-ops, city token experiments. Many blend code with human structure, elected delegates, multi-sig stewards, working groups, because pure automation tends to crumble under edge cases and social conflict. Underneath all this, the infrastructure keeps mutating. Ethereum's energy use collapsed post-merge, while rollups and sidechains chase cheaper, faster transactions. Other networks explore privacy-preserving computation, specialized hardware, or legal wrapper hybrids that plug more neatly into existing regulations and tax codes. Of course, none of this erases old problems. It rearranges them. Power still clusters around early insiders, complex voting can entrench apathy, and community ownership can be a slogan pasted over opaque decision-making. The open question, and the reason this space remains experimental rather than settled, is whether these new primitives can be combined into structures that are meaningfully fairer, more resilient, and more participatory than the platforms they aim to replace. Picture 3 concrete experiments. First, a co-created game world where players don't just buy items, they collectively decide which modders get funded next season, and rare in-game artifacts become tradable across multiple titles, not locked in a single franchise. Second, a research collective that routes grant money automatically as evidence accumulates, citations logged on-chain, replication bounties paid out the moment results are verified by independent labs. Third, a local energy network where households tokenize future solar output. Neighbors can pre-buy those tokens to hedge bills, while algorithms reroute surplus power and rewards in real time.
In each case, the rules of the room are adjustable in public. Newcomers can inspect how funds flowed, which criteria triggered decisions, who actually showed up to vote. That kind of audit trail makes it harder to hide favoritism and easier to fork off new versions when values or priorities diverge. Cities, brands, even sports teams are starting to probe these tools as coordination engines, not just finance toys. Think of a neighborhood deciding street upgrades with live budget dashboards, or a fan base steering a team's media projects in real time. Friction points shift. Key legal rights live off-chain. Interfaces can subtly steer outcomes, and AI agents may soon join as autonomous voters. The frontier question becomes who writes these meta rules, and how easy it is to walk away if they turn sour. Web3's next twist may be less about new coins and more about quiet, everyday shifts. Payrolls streaming by the second, co-ops sharing IP rights, AI agents bargaining for your data like seasoned shoppers at a market stall. Your challenge this week? Spot one place where shared control could beat a single gatekeeper, and sketch how you'd test it. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on OwlUp.co. Visit OwlUp.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!